I'm Stephanie Obergozo, and today I'm going to give you a few pointers to help maximize your squat. I've been doing a lot of virtual assessments over the past few months, and I've been seeing some really funky stuff going on with people's bodyweight squats. So today I'm going to give you some pointers on your squat stance, squat timing, and your squat depth. Starting with your stance, one of the biggest issues that I run into when I ask people to show me their squat is they have their feet too close together and their toes pointing straight ahead. And this is really going to limit how low they can go before a compromise starts to happen in the spine, either with their tailbone tucking under or losing the ability to maintain an upright posture with their middle back. So you want to start with your feet outside of your shoulders and your toes pointed out naturally. Up to 30 degrees is perfectly fine. And from this position, you may find that it's easier to sit down into that squat while keeping an upright torso. Now, to squat effectively, you have to have adequate mobility at the hip, at the knee, and at the ankle. So if you have issues there, you may find that even this stance isn't wide enough for you. You might run into some problems there where it's difficult to keep your heels down on the ground or maintain an upright torso. You can try going a little bit wider with that stance into something like a sumo squat stance with the feet further apart, toes still turned out, and pushing the knees out as you come down. You might find that that gives you a little bit more depth without collapsing through the torso as you're working on those mobility issues. Next, we want to talk about timing. And I'm talking about the timing with the knees and the hips. So there are different types of squats. For example, you might see a power lifter break at the hips first as they come down into their squat, or you might see people do what's called a gravity squat, where they push the knees forward first before the hips break back. For the purpose of this basic bodyweight squat or even under load, we want to focus on the breaking of the knees and the hips happening at the same time. So as my hips sit back, my knees push forward at the same time. And you may need to do this in front of a mirror just to make sure that the timing is happening correctly. I often see a lot of people sit their hips back first, which causes a lot of issues in the low back, sometimes even in the knees. So timing is important as well. Lastly, we have squat depth. That is going to look different for each person. It really depends on how much mobility you have. So something that you can try is, again, use a mirror or videotape yourself and see how low you can squat down while maintaining a neutral spine. So you may come to a quarter squat position and find that you lose your pelvis. Everything starts to tuck under, or you start rounding through the thoracic spine. Maybe you're able to get down to about parallel. Once you find your squat depth, use some biofeedback. So you can use a chair, you can use a stool, just anything that you can use to tap your hips on so that you know every time you squat, you're hitting that same depth. And you're not going to sit your body weight down on it, you're just going to make contact and come back up. So those are the three main things that you can do to help improve your squat. Of course, from the front view here, we want the center of the knees to align with the center of the feet. So if you're one of those people who has knees that like to adduct and collapse inward as you squat, you can add a resistance band a couple inches above the knees and practice just pushing out against that band as you come down and as you come up. If you are running into any other issues in terms of pain, pinching, cramping, consider working with a fitness professional who can help you iron out those limitations. I hope you found this helpful, and I hope this helps to improve your squat. I'll see you next time.